Greetings, everyone. Tarot from the Divine here. And you know what? It dawned on me today, Wednesday, that we did not do the Tuesday tea. So I decided that we'll go ahead and get her done today. And it'll be Wednesday, What's the Tea? So first thing we're going to do is get our what the subject matter is going to be about today. So the first one is the Page of Swords. And so it's high energy, curiosity, ready for action, communicating the truth. So a new truth could be coming out because pages are, it's a childlike energy or a new energy, adventure and possibilities. So it could be a new truth is coming out. It's thoughts, communication, and logic. Okay. And then the second subject, or the second part, is Page of Wands in the reverse. So this is new energy. So youthful, childlike, going through life with your eyes wide open and full of wonder. But in the reverse, this could be someone that's over-eager. There could be some delays or setbacks due to impatience or indecisiveness. Someone could be distracted. This could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, doesn't have to be. And it's goals, creativity, and passions. So we have swords, which is thoughts, communication, and logic, and goals, career, passions, and creativity. So, someone is thinking about starting something new, possibly. And they may be getting ahead of themselves. So let's keep going. The next one. Okay. Is the Four of Cups. And 4 is about structure, stability. Cups is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a water sign. Someone could be bored with something, or they want to take a risk. This could be emotions, relationships, or spiritual matters. So emotionally, they're ready to take a risk, but logically, something's being delayed, and there could be some kind of a truth that maybe someone doesn't want to see. I don't know. We're going to get more details. And then we have the High Priestess in the reverse. So the High Priestess is about secrets, intuition, and learning, ruled by the moon and water. And someone could be, and that fits, wishing is not enough. You have to put in the work. And someone is back here wishing that something would happen emotionally, but it's being delayed because they're not putting in the work. And someone's bored and, they're just not wanting to do it. If we could get one more, Spirit, please. Okay. And this is the Four of Pentacles. So we have 2 4s and 2 pages. And then we have the High Priestess. So the 4s are about structure and stability. And Pentacles are about money, material possessions, career, and health. Could be a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. Being Pentacles, it's an earth sign. And someone's in 4 of Pentacles, they want to hold on to what they have. So they may not want to invest. They may not be wanting to spend anything that they have right now. And since it's the tea, we're going to use the What's the Tea Oracle. What's the T? Oracle. And we're going to find out, we're going to see if there's any insight on this. Last week it turned out to be pretty interesting, so let's see what we get this week. Okay, so under this Page of Swords, what do we have about a possible truth coming out? Okay, so someone is unfazed and they're wanting to hit the jackpot. They want to win this money, or they want to, since they're ready for action and they're curious, they want to communicate truth or justice, but they want to hit the jackpot. So, and that's fine, everybody wants to hit the jackpot, right? So, and then they're unfazed by this truth or whatever. They're just going along, they're kind of going with the flow. Then we have creativity, steals your ideas, copies your work, duplicates and feeds off of you. But it flipped out in the reverse. So maybe this truth is someone that is, you think possibly that they're stealing, and maybe they're not from you. And maybe that's why everything's being delayed. Anything else on this line? Bad reputation. Someone's trying to give you a bad reputation. Or the stealing and taking your work. Maybe someone is stealing and taking your work. But they can't do it anymore because you're going to find out the truth about them. But in the meantime, they're trying to give you a bad reputation. What else, Spirit? All right. Well, that's quite a few. Moving on. Thank you. Next. So someone may be wanting to move on. Running. Now this shows someone running and getting peace. She has a peaceful look on her face. So maybe, exercising. Then a romantic love affair, possibly a secret lover, and then giving money. So donations and everything like that. So those just flipped out. I'm not going to take them. We're going to go on to the next card, which is the Page of Wands in the reverse. So this is the delay. Somebody could be being impatient or indecisive, or they're just over eager, and it's affecting their goals. They want to get past this and move on to the next phase, and they have to learn the truth first. That's too many cards, Spirit. I flipped out too many cards. Okay, that one flipped out. All right. So moving on. So that came out again. So someone is eager to move on past this truth. And fishing for comments. So they want, usually fishing for comments is you're fishing for compliments. I know this came out last week too. Someone, when they're fishing for comments, they're like, oh, don't I look nice? Or don't you think I'm smart? Or, and they ask questions that if you say no to it, then they can get all upset and hurt. So that's sort of narcissistic behavior. No. Always partying and marrying for money. So someone could be partying a lot, which will delay their progress, and it will delay what they want. Maybe they want to find somebody rich. They have this jackpot energy back here. So maybe they've met someone and they feel like it's the jackpot, and that could be where that card came in, about the possible secret love affair. Maybe there's a secret love affair going on and they want to marry for money, which will allow them to move on with their project, whatever that is. They're looking for somebody to finance them. We all know that type, right? Okay, what about this Four of Cups? Someone that wants to hold on to what they've got. Or no, Four of Cups, they're not happy with, they're sort of bored with the emotional side of things. That just kind of fell off. So what about that Four of Cups? And four is about, structure and stability. And they're bored with structure and stability. There could be a stalker. They could be stalking you. Or they could have a stalker. They could be obsessed. What else about this stalker? Please clarify. It's a lot of cards, Spirit. So cyberbully. Someone's being bullied online, or someone has suffered from it in the past. Could be why they don't want to, they're kind of bored. This person could be a cyberbully stalker because they're bored. They're disinterested in their current life, so they're turning to this as a form of entertainment, possibly. What else? Wolf in sheep's clothing. So this person could be a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're coming up to you as a friend, but they're actually stalking you. And it could be this same person over here that might be getting caught stealing from you, and you're figuring out the truth about them. Anything else on this one? Creeping. Yeah, this person is a creeper. They're creeping around, following you, cyberbullying you, and chances are they're using a fictitious name on the internet. Child services. If kids are involved, they're at risk of being taken, or they're going to be reported for neglect or abuse. So, and since these are pages, these could be young energies. They could be children. These could be kids doing this, because kids are more advanced than they were years ago. They're more advanced. They come up with more stuff, and parents seem to be watching them less and less. And just remember, only take any of this if it resonates. Don't try to make it fit. And since it's collective, you know, I read for a whole bunch of different people here, so not everything is going to resonate with you. And if nothing's resonating, then hey, you know, it's like a little soap opera here. So just watch it, and it's for entertainment purposes only, right? A boss daddy, stable, rich, business owner, CEO. That could be the stalker. Or you could be paying someone to stalk someone. And these page energies over here could be someone younger, just starting out in business or wanting to start in business. They're wishing and doing all of that, but, you know, they're not actually doing anything about it. And instead, they're fighting amongst themselves and, you know, playing games. What about this high priestess in the reverse? Okay. Excuse me. Uninterested. So yeah, someone is wishing for something. They don't want to put in the work, and they don't seem interested in whatever it is they want. They're not interested in working towards it. They're interested in the outcome, but they're not interested in putting in the work. And then we have hooked. So they're trying to get someone hooked, or they're hooked on something. I think it seems that this would be hooked on something. Let's see if we can get some more clarification on that. Can we get more clarification on this hooked? Divination abuser. So they're hooked on divination. So they're abusing divination to try and get this truth, to figure out how they can achieve this goal without actually working for it. So they may be beginning, you know, trying to do some magic or something like that. But if they don't put in the work, like with anything, if you don't put in the work on anything, you won't get the result. So let's see. Anything else on this one? Caught a case. Sexually transmitted demon. Or a rash. Something like that. So they could be using that to try and, you know, get their way in and marry for money and all of that. And then we have hustling, making it rain, focused on money and getting it. Well, yeah, that's all well and good, but they don't want to put in the work. They're focused on it. They're focused on making the money. And they've caught a case. And that may be how they're trying to make their money. I don't know. What about this last card with the Four of Pentacles? And 4 is about stability and security. Pentacles is money, and they want to hold on to what they've got. They don't want to let loose of anything. You know, whatever they've got in savings or whatever, they don't want to invest in it. And that's part of doing the work. You have to put you know, you have to put in good faith. Anything else, Spirit, on that? Love on the brain. Dreaming, fantasizing, daydreaming, and nostalgic. So they're in love and they don't want to do the work. They think that this marrying for money is going to solve their problems, when in fact it could increase them, but they're too busy winning. In their head, they're not doing anything back here to be winning, but they think they're winning because they're wanting to do this marrying for money. So they're too busy winning to worry about focusing on their project and putting any energy towards that. And they're a grudge holder, so if you get in their way, they're going to, you know, hold a grudge against you. And then we have bad habits, drug addictions, and toxicities, but it flipped out in the reverse. So maybe someone is trying to overcome, you know, some bad habits. Maybe they're trying, or they're trying not to show them. With the High Priestess in reverse, that's secrets, but secrets come out. So that's another thing about the High Priestess in reverse. Secrets may be revealed, which goes back to this first line of a truth coming out. And so this person may be being revealed here. And dust it off. They're not able to dust it off. And unbothered. You're unbothered by this. Or they're unbothered by this whole thing because they're going to be marrying for money. So they're just not, they're acting like they're not even worried. Shall we do the Kipper? See if we get anything else on this. This Page of Swords that is trying to do a bad reputation, maybe with the truth. A journey. So they may be going on a journey, taking a trip, maybe to get away from this truth. Someone may be taking a journey. Anything else? Okay. What about this Page of Wands in the reverse? Wanting to marry for money. Wanting to move on. Being overly eager. Adjudication. So there could be a court case. Someone may be getting sued, or they may be suing for something. Possibly over this money that they are wanting to marry this person for. Maybe they're suing for part of it. Maybe this person has been dishonest and has kept all the money. Like I said, only take it if it resonates. Anything else on that? Okay. What about this Four of Cups? Dissatisfaction. Mature man under the boss daddy. So this mature man may not be satisfied with what's going on here. And like I said, these pages could be younger people. And this mature man may be trying to take advantage of them, or actually just outright lying to them and telling them that that he wants to marry them. Sounds like a hot mess to me. What else, Spirit? Okay. What about the High Priestess in the reverse? Secrets revealed. Not wanting to do the work. Nothing's going to manifest. Okay. Despair. So, yeah, and not wanting to do the work and secrets being revealed and the truth coming out is going to put this person into despair. And what about this Four of Pentacles? Wanting to hold on to things, wanting to save, not spend their money. Holding on to their assets. Poverty. So they're afraid they're going to go broke. They're afraid they're going to lose their money. They're afraid of poverty. Anything else? Occupation. So they're afraid. So this may be someone that isn't having to work right now because they've got money, because they've got a savings, and they don't want to let go of it because they'll have to go back to work because it'll put them into poverty. Anything else? Okay. So that's basically the tea. Let's see what the angel oracle has to say. The angel guide. And last week we did the ancestors. So this week we'll do the angel. We're not going to read all of those, Spirit. We're just shuffling right now. Okay, let's pick out one from the middle. Learning experience. Well, that's what that sounds like this is going to be. Let's see here. Okay. So, learning experience. You have dedicated a lot of your time, effort, and energy to understanding yourself and the world, and have had many experiences recently that have been great teachers. Even though not everything has been easy or perfect, there has been a positive in that you have come to understand yourself, your gifts, and your abilities better than ever. You are deeply connected to who you are, what you stand for, and what's important to you in life. When this card appears for you, angels are acknowledging the challenges and obstacles you have surmounted recently. Although it may have been a difficult time for you, your faith and inner strength have increased. Knowing that the cloud has a silver lining and you will soon have moved beyond the feeling of being stuck or unsupported. Inner peace and a sense of security come from overcoming hardships. Without the challenges that life has presented you, you wouldn't be the person you are today. This is a time for you to reflect on the incredible strength you have. No matter what has gone wrong for you, you have made your way through the darkness and into the light. When this card appears for you, your angel guide is inviting you to ask yourself, what have I learned from this? This card represents the teacher you have within, and through integrity and connection, you will be able to find a message within the mystery. If you are still facing challenges, you are being encouraged to keep going and trust that the worst will soon be over. The light at the end of the tunnel is you. So you are your own light at the end of the tunnel. So a quick recap, we could have some young people that are trying to, that are wanting to start a business, but they don't want to do the work. That's evidenced with the High Priestess. And then we have a mature man, boss daddy over here, who could be cyberbullying or something like that. These younger people, getting them to do what they want or promising them something, and they're wanting to marry for money, is being very misleading, which could lead to a court case or someone taking a journey towards this mature man. And then the High Priestess, someone doesn't want to work for something, so they're using other means to get what they want, but it's going to end in despair. It's not going to work out for them. And then we have someone over here who has, they have a savings, or they have something that they don't want to invest or they don't want to use because they are afraid it's going to put them into poverty, and they may have to go back to work or begin working when they don't really have to if they don't invest their money. But if they don't invest their money, this isn't going to happen. But these people, there's a truth coming out, and so this person may be being wise and not investing their money. So that's sort of what everything is saying here. Again, please only take this as it resonates. Don't make it try to fit. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And hey, until next time, have a great day.